Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God, back with you with the next video in my Pentiment playthrough. Without further ado, returning to Pentiment. So the only place left in the chapel we haven't explored, the abbey we haven't explored is here. Suzanne, brr, it's colder today. There's not much in the yard that could help you, I think. Anything that was here has long been covered in weeds. All I know about this place is that the walls were added when the convent was built onto the monastery. Oh, God bless you, Sister Benedicta. Benedicta, Sister Suzanne, God bless you. Ugh, this ice is hard. Magdalene, do I recognize you, Sister Benedicta? I think I've seen you in town once or twice. Suzanne, yes, you'd have seen her, Sister Benedicta. You'd have seen her. Sister Benedicta is the youngest of the sisters. Mother Francisca allows only one sister to deal with the townsfolk. Benedicta received this privilege. Benedicta, burden more like. I have to run around everywhere, gathering all the food and doing all the chores. I'd rather be inside where it's warm. What are you doing up in the convent anyway? Magdalene, snooping? Or Mother Francisca said I could look around, or I'm considering joining the poor Clares actually. Benedicta, oh, well, don't let me get in the way then. Magdalene, actually, Sister Benedicta, I wanted to ask you some questions. Do you like being a nun? Benedicta, oh yes, I don't mind it at all. It's far quieter than home. And I don't have to share my bed with my siblings anymore. I'd like to help the older sisters. And don't mind the chores. Magdalene, one more question. Sister Benedicta, have you seen any mysterious figures or ghosts lately? Benedicta, ghosts? No, everything has been normal recently. I haven't noticed anything odd. Is this about Sister Marie's ghost? I think it's Mauritius myself. Suzanne, oh no. Magdalene, so there's a ghost in the abbey? Or who? Benedicta, Mauritius. Don't tell Mother Francisca this, but I found an old book about Christian legends hidden in the workshop. It said that a Roman commander named Mauritius conquered Tassing, but the colony failed. Most of the townsfolk were empty until Christian refugees found the town hidden in the valley. It was a miracle. Magdalene, Christian refugees, or I wonder if this is a different retelling of St. Moritz saving Tassing. Benedicta, yes. The book said they were fleeing Roman persecution. Maybe under Nero? I don't remember. Nero, a Roman emperor known for his cruelty and persecution of Christians and Jews, as well as his disinterest in the Roman people. He famously fiddled as he watched a fire ravage Rome. Anyway, when Sister Marie said she saw a ghost, I thought it must be Mauritius trying to get us out. A Roman ghost couldn't be happy about his tower being turned into an abbey, could he? Magdalene, definitely not, or what did you do with this book, sister? This story gives me ideas for the Ratha's mural. Thanks for telling me about the book, sister. I won't tell Mother Francisca. God bless you, sister. Benedicta, haha, thanks, Magdalene. God bless you. Magdalene, cough. The workshop is covered in dust. Suzanne, yes, this was the Benedictine sisters' workshop. They used to make badges and art for pilgrims coming to see the hand of St. Moritz. Magdalene, it looks like everything was just left here after the fire. Nothing's been used in years. Suzanne, we can't subsist on painting, and the poor Clares don't produce goods for sale, so we have no reason to be in here. Magdalene, but art allows us to find beauty in life. Even Christ said the Father clothed the lilies of the field in beauty. Or, just because art isn't essential to survival means you can't do any kind of painting. That sounds horrible. Or, surely you've thought of sneaking in and creating something, right? Suzanne, I agree, But that's not the rule of the Poor Clares. Mother Francisca considers art a temptation into hedonism. Mother Francisca doesn't let us come here unless to put something in storage. I've come in a few times and noticed some of the brushes have gone missing, paint pots too. Magdalene, you think one of the sisters is secretly painting? Or, I wouldn't be surprised if the twins managed to sneak their way in. Or, it's probably Kraft. I caught him trying to take a look inside the convent once. Or, you think it's the ghost Sister Marie was talking about? Suzanne, Mother Francisca would be livid if she knew one of the boys from Tassing was sneaking around the convent. I don't think he'd be able to get into the workshop without one of us seeing him, though. Why would he steal paints anyway? Is he artistically minded? Magdalene, now that I think about it, no. Suzanne, in any case, I think it's sad the workshop is left like this. Truthfully, Magdalene, I don't think you should join the convent, even if that's not what you're here to do anyway. Gertrude talks about you, and you seem to love your art. Without it, you'd hate it here. Magdalene, there's an old parchment scrap here. It's different than the others. Magdalene, it looks like a scrap from a manuscript. There's something in Latin written in the margin. Suzanne, it says, the Mithraeum of Tassing had been destroyed by a flood. Mithraeum? That's the same word I saw in the Roman section of the mine. We could say, why would someone have written that in the margins of a manuscript? And where's the rest of the book? Or, wait, this might be from the book Sister Benedicta found. I wonder why it would mention the Mithraeum. Suzanne, I don't know. It's not a word I've ever heard before. There's certainly nothing in the convent by that name. Magdalene, well, the note says the Mithraeum was destroyed, so I suppose it doesn't matter much now. Magdalene, such valuable paint, left to dry and crack on pallets. Magdalene, these old badges are beautiful. I hope the pilgrims who bought them love them too. Suzanne, well, you've seen the entire convent. There's not much here. What do you think? Magdalene, we could say, I understand the appeal of such a small life. It offers its own freedoms from the world, even if I'm not drawn to it. Or I can see why people choose the holy life, but it's not for me, not without art. Or, to be honest, it seems like a life of drudgery. I'll pick the first. Suzanne, that's true. We aren't bound by the worries and thoughts of the world. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone from outside the convent. I'm reminded of the life I once had. Now you have me thinking about whether or not I should remain with the sisters. Magdalene, we could say, I think you should stay, or I think you should go. We'll say, I think you should stay. She won't, Interesting. I know you don't like it here, but there must be some reason to stay, right? Suzanne, like what? Sister Marie's cooking? I don't know anymore, Magdalene. My family's devotion doesn't have to be mine. I don't know if there truly is a place for me here. Anyway, we should return to Mother Francisca before she suspects something. Magdalene, we could say, I learned a lot today. Thank you for showing me around the convent, or I didn't learn as much as I had hoped for the mural, but I'm glad I got to meet you. Suzanne, no, thank God, Magdalene. Thank you, Magdalene. Today has been more interesting than any I can remember in the Abbey. Come, let's find Mother Francisca. She'll be wanting to hear what you thought of the place. Francisca, well, Magdalene, what is your assessment of the Poor Clares? Is the good Lord calling you to a life with us as a sister? Magdalene, I am compelled by the devoted life the sisters lead, Mother Francisca, but I'm afraid I must tend to my father first. Or, I prefer my books in printing, and in any case, I need to finish the mural. Then I might take over from my father, or, well, I hadn't thought about my holy duty of providing children to a husband, and I can't give that up so soon. We'll pick the middle one. Francisca, I see. Be careful that this mural does not become an idol for you, Magdalene. Just as Eve had a weaker will than Adam, you are liable to stumble on the fruit of temptation as well. Our community is quite modest compared to the splendor of an old Benedictine house operating under the rule of a powerful abbot. I see why fewer women are drawn to the order these days. Magdalene, thank you for allowing me inside. Suzanne, you are most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. Gertrude, Magdalene, how did your little expedition go? Magdalene, I learned a lot from seeing the Abbey. I have a good idea of what I'll depict in the mural now. Or, well, I learned about the poor Clares, but not as much as the history of the Abbey as I wanted. Or, I'm frustrated there's so little left of the Abbey and our saints. We'll go with the middle one. But, sister, there's something I don't understand. The Abbey was so prosperous. Why didn't the monks rebuild it after the fire? Gertrude, what a task that would be. The chapel was so beautiful. The stained glass always caught my eye in the mornings. There was a great deal of anger and sadness in Tassing that night. The abbot felt the brothers and sisters were no longer welcome in Tassing and moved on. In truth, the abbey's dissolution was inevitable. Kyrsa was running out of money and patrons. The riot and fire were simply a particularly awful and painful way to end the monastery. Magdalene, did anything survive the fire? Gertrude, Some of the buildings are intact, but all are terribly overgrown. I haven't dared forage in the rubble. I doubt you'd find anything of help for your mural inside, other than charred wood and parchment. Magdalene, we could say, that's a shame, or the twins have explored all sorts of dangerous places. I'm sure the Abbey isn't so bad, or it still might be worth taking a look if I'm careful. Gertrude, I worry after you sometimes, Magdalene. I really do. Magdalene, thank you for your help, Sister Gertrude. Gertrude, you are most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. So let's go see if we can actually go into the Abbey. Well, I don't know. I did learn more about the finding of Kyrsa. And that illustration from the manuscript, the Mithraeum. It was like the one in the mine. Is it part of the history of the Abbey, of Tassing? It must be written down somewhere. If only the library hadn't burned down with everything in it. The ruins are right there. Maybe not everything was destroyed. Let's head into the church then. Magdalene, my God, this is amazing. I wonder what it must have looked like before the fire. Everything collapsed in the fire. I'll have to be careful climbing over this rubble to get past. Oh shit. Oh, geez. Magdalene. Oh no. I can't get back up there. If I climb it, it might collapse further. I'll have to find another way out. There's nothing left of the old staircase. I guess I can't go this way. These vines go all the way to the top, though they look sturdy enough to hold my weight. Well, there's no other way out. I I can see all of Tassing from here. I wonder if I can piece together the foundations of the Abbey and find a way to get to the library. I bet I could get down this way. The roof looks pretty stable. Oh, God. I remember when the library burned down. Dad told me I was just a baby, but I remember the flames coming out of the windows. So many people were screaming and running around. I cried myself to sleep that night. I haven't seen this place since then. It doesn't look like there's anything left inside. I suppose it was too much to hope for. Well, Magdalene, how are you going to get out of here? These roses seem to have made the Abbey their home. I'm glad something beautiful is still growing here. The same thing. Yeah. I wonder if there were always this many cats at the Abbey. Perhaps I can ask Wodeslaw what he remembers during his time here. This place is a mess. How sad. The door's stuck. I can't get through this way. Oh, an old mural. It's worn, but I can still see some of the figures. A dance of death. What? These figures look new. The paint can't be more than a few years old. Someone's been adding to this. This feels wrong. Who would add new figures to the Dance of Death, and why? Dance of Death, an artistic allegory on the constancy of death. Illustrations often feature people from every station of society to communicate that death inevitably claims everyone, from the peasant to the emperor. These look like people from the town, from here, people who died. That must be the Baron, and that's Otto. Wait, is that? Someone's here. Hello? Who are you? Of course, I'm not sure if she's saying it's that they're talking about Klaus. That's obviously the worry, right? The door. Whoever was watching me must have opened it. I don't like this. I think I've seen everything left of the Abbey. I want to get out of here. Magdalene, when did it start snowing? I should get back to the Rothaus and get to work. So we're going to go to the Roth house now, and the one person we're going to talk to along the way there is Brother Wojslav. Any conversation with thoughts? Nope. Wojslav. God bless you, Michael. So I've already had that conversation with Wojslav. What about Martha? Can we talk with Martha? Martha. Hi, Magda. Magdalene. Afternoon, Martha. You're visiting the smithy? Martha. Yes. Andrus is helping me make something for Dad. Dad loves his morning walks, but his legs start aching after a little while, so we can't go far. Andrus. I've been given a challenging project, to say the least. Martha. I've been discussing it with Baltas for a while. He has all sorts of ideas. Baltas came up with a kind of supportive frame for my dad's leg, inspired by the Suisse and Grieve. He hopes it could help Dad put less weight on the injury. With this, maybe it'd be possible to help him move around without so much pain. The design requires all manner of metal parts, though. Andrus. I hope I'm up to the task. Some of the smaller bits may be a problem. Martha. I have faith in you, Andrus. Magdalene. The design sounds intricate, exactly like something Baltas would come up with. Or, you think this contraption will work? Or, iron is quite expensive at the moment. How are you paying for it? Martha. We manage. A few people in town have helped out. Andrus is here. Andrus here has been very generous as well. He's accepted some of our crops in trade. Andrus. I like the cause. Martha. Dad needs the encouragement. He becomes so much sadder when autumn arrives. I haven't actually told him about any of this yet. I want it to be a surprise. A gift for Christmas if all goes well. Magdalene. I won't tell him. Good luck, Andrus. Or, I hope it does. Good luck, Martha. Martha. Thank you, Magda. We'll talk more soon, all right? Magdalene. Of course. Be well. So now an opportunity to paint the mural. Talk with Carl? No. Werner. Magdalene. Magdalene. Dr. Stolz? Werner. So you're doing quick work with the mural, eh? I hope that doesn't make you sloppy. Magdalene. We could say, I'm trying to finish it in time for Dad, you understand. Or it's taken longer than I've wanted. I have to get all my other chores done, too. Or still think that I shouldn't be painting the mural, Dr. Stolz. Werner. You best work quickly then. He doesn't have much time left. Magdalene. Thanks for the encouraging words as always, Doctor. Werner. In any case, the council wants to hear what you're doing. Magdalene. I've been researching the early Christian history of Tassing after the Romans left, learning how people settled in the ruins, how the abbey was founded, why our saints are so important to us. It was a lot to take in, but I've settled on my subject. Werner and Magdalene. Okay, let's see here. I'll paint Saint Moritz, Saint Satia, and Our Lady of the Labyrinth receiving the Christian settlers. Or, I want to show the history how it happened. I'll paint Lady Kirsa founding the abbey from the old Bergfried. Or, I'll paint the Bavarians settling among the Roman ruins, starting the Christian history of Tassing. We will pick the first one. They are the saints closest to Tassing and Kirsa, and have been part of our history for generations. Werner. The saints are an essential part of Tassing's identity and income. Honoring them makes the town look better than it actually is, so I suppose that is worth something. You must always keep in mind that the mural is not just for you, but all of Tassing. Magdalene. nod, or just let me do my job, Doctor, or I remember. Werner, very well. Magdalene, after this section, there's still so much work to do. I haven't even figured out how I'm going to portray the revolt. Werner, ah, yes. I imagine it poses difficulties that the other murals do not. Magdalene, it's a strange thing to tell a story that lives in the hearts of so many people here. I don't think anyone wants to talk about it. They've all just locked it away. Werner, It sounds like you have your work cut out for you. I'll leave you to it then. Magdalene, oh, Dr. Stolz? Werner, yes. Magdalene, never mind, good night, or have you ever seen someone lurking around the Abbey? Or heard about it? Werner, I haven't been up to the Abbey in years, and no, I haven't heard of anything like that. Why? Magdalene, I've seen someone following me. A few times. Werner, no, I don't know anything about it. Now, if there's nothing else. Magdalene, asshole, or no, good night, Dr. Stolz. Werner, good night, Magdalene. Now I only have the final part of the mural to finish. How should I paint the revolt? Dad always talked about how the Archdeacon was the only one seeking justice in those days. But what was his name? The only name I can remember is the name of the Archdeacon who came to Tassing when the Baron was killed. Jacob Estler. Maybe he wrote an account of the revolt as Archdeacon. I'll write to him and ask. And of course I need to write back to Esther too. I'll write to them tonight before bed. All right, where to begin? I'll write to the Archdeacon, Jacob Esther, and see if he can tell me about the revolt. I'll write a letter to Esther too. I hope the courier can make it through the passes before winter. Magdalene, Jacob Estler, formerly Archdeacon of Freising. My name is Magdalene Druckren. I am an artist in the town of Tassing in Upper Bavaria. I believe you passed through our community when you investigated Baron Rothwegel's murder at Kearsarge Abbey in 1518. Do you remember anything about that case that the people in Tassing might not remember? We could say, in particular, do you remember anything about someone writing notes to provoke the killer, or do you see any evidence that might suggest there was some sort of larger conspiracy at work, or do you have any reason to doubt the conclusion of the case? We'll say the second one, excuse me. Thank you for any help you can give. Madeline Druckren. Dearest Esther, I hope you are well. You must know how tremendously happy I am for you and Simond, and Elisha too, of course, and your parents. It warms my heart to know that your family is doing so well. By the time this letter reaches you, I expect winter will have unfolded Tassing. It's already freezing at night, so I've reorganized the workshop so that the inks don't deteriorate. Do you have to worry about that in Prague? You've said it snows, but I always imagined it was warmer in winter. Dad's condition is so much worse, and he's in so much pain. Dr. Stolz has been, well, he's a useless asshole. Only God knows why he's such a bitter old man, but he's neglected Dad almost entirely. Some days he doesn't show up, and even if he does, he just snaps instructions at me and rushes off. I just wish I understood why. I worry about Dad. I've asked Agnes for help, but there's only so much we can do alone. He's not going to make it. There's nothing I can do. Christ, I'm scared, Esther. The mural is progressing well, but I can't shake the feeling that someone is following me. I keep seeing this figure around town. After I explored the mines to see Tassing's early history, and then again in the Abbey ruins. No one else in Tassing has seen anything, but some of the nuns seem they've seen ghosts. Or if it's the person who attacked my dad, why are they following me? Or whoever it is, I'm sure it's not anyone from Tassing. What do they want from me? It's the strangest thing, given me a fright a few times already. But I don't mean to worry you. Nothing's happened to me yet, so I think I'll be safe. The only good news I can share at the moment is that the mural is almost finished. I should have it completed by Christmas, or soon after, before the new year at least. Then, perhaps at long last, I shall be able to visit you and meet this Simon. Anyway, I fear that this will be my last letter of the year. The Reich post has already been late, and reported worsening snows through the passes. We seem to be stepping into a harsh winter. Stay warm and give my regards to your family and Simon. Yours always, Magda. How did this get here? Stop. This is just like the note Dad found. Are they trying to scare me, or who's doing this? I have a feeling I'm going to find out sooner or later. I need to ask Dad about this. It can't be a coincidence. But he's been so weak, I don't want to upset him. I just need to wait for the right time. I hope there is a right time. It's late, I should get some rest soon. So we'll go to sleep here, and that is where I'll end the video there for this week. With that, I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light to be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.